I'm a vindictive bastard. Not all the time, of course. You don't get to run a convenience store chain without some degree of sympathy. In fact, if you met me, that's the first thing you'd notice. I'm extremely personable, but don't betray me. I will get even with you. Not just justice, revenge. Okay, you want examples? I played rugby and still do from time to time. I was a lock, one of the second row forwards, tall, well-built, and pretty quick on my feet. So there I was, chasing a high ball, and a damn number one hit me as I was jumping for it. I went down hard, shattering my shoulder and suffering a slight concussion. The referee ruled it was accidental. The trainer replaced me while my shoulder healed, and once the team doctor cleared me, I went back on the field. The bastard smiled at me, a smug confirmation that it was a deliberate foul. So at the next scrum, I clocked him. Not sure if it was my fist that connected, and the ref didn't see it, but that was just the beginning. Luck favors the brave. Their number one got hold of the ball and went on a clumsy run. He was brought down, and the ruck was set up. He gave the ball back to his scrum half, who was taking his sweet time organizing his backs. I saw my opportunity. I pounced underneath my counterpart in the ruck, knocking him off balance and sending him crashing into the number 8, who landed on the loose head's arm. Unfortunately for him, he had his hand on top of the ball, and the weight of the two players broke his forearm. I got up with cleat marks on my face and neck, where a boot had hit me, and my shoulder again bandaged. None of the referees saw anything unusual, and as they were helping their number one off the field, I couldn't help but feel a grim satisfaction. As they helped him off the field, they stared at me. Since I was receiving treatment at the time, he couldn't know if I had anything to do with his injury, but I knew, and that was enough. I'm not stupid enough to get into a vendetta. Well, that time I was lucky. The opportunity arose, and the result was better than I expected. I had thought they would land on him and slow him down so I could finish him off later, but you get my drift. Bang me, and I'll bang you back. Keeping the accounts of the stores gives me a pretty good idea of what is sold and when, and what money needs to go through the accounts. I'm also pretty quick to spot irregularities at the cash register. Most of my employees are wives, single mothers, and students. They are not people who have a lot of income, so to eliminate temptation as much as possible, they get a huge discount. They can also have expired food, with the condition that it is for their exclusive use. Basically, I try to make it not worth their while to shoplift. The salary is better than average because the stores are profitable, but the perks make their money go further. So when I saw that my wife was taking a lot of money out of the joint account, I sat down and took note. I make a good living with the stores, so I have no problem with my wife spending money. I don't believe in credit cards, so she uses the debit card, rarely cash. 2 other things you should know about me. Despite what the incident on the rugby field may look like, I plan things well. On the field, you take the ball and read the game. Seconds make the difference between scoring or not. Real life is different. That's why I bought the stores that would make me money, not the ones across the road or a few hundred yards away. The other thing is that I loved my wife with all my heart. I needed to know what she was doing with the money before I came to the conclusion that the bitch was doing her own thing. Okay, I know I was already there, but that's part of the vindictive aspect of my character. I assume the worst. Luckily, my rational side is also strong. She might just have a gambling addiction, or she might be using weed. For all I know, she could be saving up to buy herself a nice gift or getting ready to run away. How the hell would I play this game? All my stores have CCTV and security systems linked to a computer system. Some of the cameras above the checkouts are almost invisible if you don't know they're there. But did I want them bugging my house? I thought I'd better wait until she was out of the house and check it out myself, get something to work on. The stores pretty much took care of themselves, and I also had office work well taken care of, so I took a little time to myself to think about my next move. I strolled down the main street and entered the phone store. I love gadgets. They were promoting a program to download all the phone numbers from the SIM card to the computer and not lose them. It gave me an idea to get started. It would download everything from our phones to the computer, and then I could look up the numbers. That afternoon, I loaded the software. Alex, give me your phone. What for? I have a new program that saves all the numbers so that if you lose your phone, you won't lose your contacts, I said, trying to sound casual. Your phone fails, you can reload them from the computer to a new phone. It saves you from having to get everyone's numbers and dial them all over again. Doubt it, she said, hesitating. I think my battery is flat. No problem. It connects via USB, so it's powered by the computer, I reassured her. This shows how useful this tool can be. If it had been a faulty battery or something, it could have corrupted the data. Reluctantly, she handed me her phone. I created a folder for her data and downloaded it directly to the machine. Okay, it's in a folder in my documents called Phone Numbers, under your name, in case you need it. Is there a password? No, go straight to it if you need to, she replied. I went on the internet and started looking for classic cars, fancying an E-Type if I could find one. Alex, engrossed in her soaps, went to make herself a cup of tea. I quickly copied her file and emailed it to myself at work. Normally, I didn't bother to check Alex's phone bill. It was paid by direct debit. However, things were different now. I pulled the folder out of my desk drawer and took it to work. First, I checked her phone numbers. Strangely, I recognized my problem as soon as I saw Steve Alina's name. A quick check of the phone records showed me that she phoned him a couple of times a day. Steve Alina was not only a competitor, but also a soccer player. For me as a rugby player, that was probably worse. Now I needed confirmation that they were having an affair and using my money to pay for it. I saw no other option but to hire a private investigator. I would have no problem taking time off work, but I'm a big bugger and would stick out like a sore thumb trying to follow either of them. I looked in the yellow pages and found a company in a town 10 miles away. I could have used the company that did my security work, but they were the best in town, and I figured Alina might use them for his stores as well. I didn't want to hire someone with a conflict of interest. I made an appointment and took a couple of photos of Alex with me. The private investigator was an ex-cop who seemed quite prosperous, judging by his premises. Either that, or he was just bluffing. In any case, all I needed was evidence of unpleasantness. I didn't need Sherlock Holmes. He told me a week would cover what he wanted, and I gave him £1,000 as a down payment. As I was driving back, I realized I needed gas and stopped at a small gas station. While filling up the tank, I looked around and my instinct told me I was looking at an untapped gold mine. I went in to pay and realized it was a husband and wife business. They were in their 60s, and I got talking to them. In short, they wanted to retire but hadn't done anything about it. I asked them the price. I knew it was £250,000 below their potential and told them to ask for an appraisal. I gave them my card. Look, I may be a businessman, but I have to look in the mirror every morning. I may get revenge, but I don't take advantage of people and I don't cheat. Much. A week later, I received 2 calls. One was an apology from Mr. and Mrs. Flanagan, saying that they had been told the business was worth about what I thought it was. They were flabbergasted when I accepted the price and asked for their lawyer's details. The second was, of course, my private investigator telling me that Alex was playing games, but not just with Steve Alina. She had arranged to meet another man for lunch and then Steve in the evening when I was training. I told the private investigator to get me more details. I drove over there to give the PI another 1,000 and to take a look at my new acquisition. The investigator had pictures of Alex with Steve and the other guy in public, but hadn't gotten anything explicitly incriminating. I gave him the second installment and told him to get something that could prove infidelity in court and to identify the second guy. I sat around for another week, fulfilling husband duties in the bedroom. Hey, a shag is a shag, and you get it when you can. Alex didn't seem unusually reticent, nor unusually eager. However, oral sex was out of the question. Not that it was unusual during the week. I wasn't worried about STDs since we used condoms. Alex was not on the pill because it made her gain weight. The following Friday, I waited for the PI's report with a mix of dread and anticipation, ready to confront whatever truths it held. I got what I needed. The second guy was Jim Leonard, a sales rep for a company that sold those packaged products you see in corner stores and stores like mine. You know the kind of stuff. Sewing kits, little rolls of duct tape, electrical fuses, that kind of thing. They used her apartment twice that week. Stevelina, and she got a little action in the parking lot while I was training. I had enough to know that my marriage was over. I figured she would be on her period shortly, so her activity would dry up for a week. That's when I put the first part of my plan into action. I got some chili peppers at the store and extracted chili juice. I smeared the crotch of a few pairs of her panties. The big ones, the ones at the bottom of the drawer, the ones she would probably wear soon. I also took a hypodermic needle and injected some tampons with the chili juice. I had heard that some guys used wintergreen as a joke, but I thought she might smell it. I had no idea if it would work, but it seemed reasonable. Alina played a little indoor soccer at the local recreation center, where I also played sometimes, just to keep in shape. Naturally, I was chastised for my lack of ball skills, but I more than made up for it with speed and stamina. Usually, someone would be named goalie, and the position would rotate so that everyone got a good workout. My rugby skills gave me a distinct advantage in goal. Alina thought he could get around me with the ball, and he did while I was goalie. He was getting close, but he couldn't get around me. He stuck his boot in once or twice, and I pointed it out to him, but he just laughed. Then they scored, and we changed goalkeepers. He made the mistake of trying to provoke me, so when he tried to take the ball away from me, he kept coming closer. I was a bit loose with my feet, and I hit him on the ankle, but not too hard. Then, when he had the ball, I inadvertently hit him, and he fell on his butt. I, of course, apologized, made the excuse of not being able to read a 5-game due to speed, and pretended it was all part of the game. The smirk on his face was gone, replaced by a glare, but I had made my point. Mess with me, and there will be consequences, and helped him to his feet. Alina wasn't very nice, but the rest of the guys took my side. In the next game, Alina made a hard tackle to try to take me out. I saw it coming and let him go in before trying to clear the ball. As his foot came down where my ankle should have been, his knee managed to collide with my boot. The satisfying sound of his knee bending in a way it shouldn't was music to my ears. Our combined momentum tore the cartilage and ligaments in his joint. He fell to the ground, screaming like a little girl. I apologized profusely again, but the others had no sympathy for him. They had seen how he tried to break my ankle and let him know he had no one to blame but himself. We called an ambulance for him, and I offered to drive him home. Under the circumstances, it was the least I could do. He, of course, refused. By now, Alex had already put on her tampered panties and tampons. Clearly, the chili juice was having some effect. She was, to put it mildly, a little uncomfortable. She suffered for a day or two before going to the doctor. Naturally, the doctor had no idea of the real cause, but gave her some cream which she discreetly hid in her purse. She hadn't used all her tampons, so she didn't make the connection when her period was over. When I came back from soccer, I found her sitting on the couch looking like a thunderstorm. "You bastard! Who is she?" "Huh? You've given me a dose of syphilis." "Who is she? I'll take you to the cleaners. I'll get every penny you've got." "It wasn't me. It must have been Stevelina or Jim Leonard." "What? You know?" she stammered. I opened my briefcase and handed her a copy of the private investigator's report. "Pack your things and get the hell out of my house." "Where am I going to go?" she lamented. "Don't know and don't care, but if you gave me a dose, then you're going to pay for it." I was really pissed off. As I mentioned before, she didn't use the pill because it made her gain weight, so we used condoms for birth control. If she had an infection, she must have been shagging them raw. I grabbed a roll of garbage bags from the kitchen and went upstairs to the bedroom. "I'll give you a hand packing," I said coldly, and started emptying drawers into the bags. I didn't worry about what went in, just dumped everything into the bags haphazardly. Clothes, shoes, makeup, everything. I loaded all her stuff into the car, yanked her keys out of her hands, removed the house key from the key fob, and practically shoved her out the door. I slammed it shut behind her in a boiling fury, grabbed a beer, and threw myself into the recliner. I knew about her infidelity, but confronting her so blatantly had set off the pressure cooker inside me. My heart felt like it had been ripped from my chest. I drank myself into oblivion, The next morning, I woke up feeling like a shell of my former self. Surprisingly, my hangover was quite mild, which I attributed to my physical fitness. I dragged myself to work, feeling utterly dejected. After clearing up some routine matters, I made an appointment with my lawyer. Then I closed my office door and started to analyze my options. Oddly, I felt no urge to retaliate against Alex, Alina, or Leonard. Instead, I felt completely discouraged. My employees must have noticed my state of mind because they sent Big Jean to interrogate me. Jean was in her mid-50s, the store's agony aunt, and had seen just about everything. She was one of those motherly women who took no nonsense from anyone. She sat across from me and waited, her eyes boring into mine. Okay, Alex has been cheating. I kicked her out and that's it. I'm not going to do anything stupid, so you don't have to worry. Maybe not now, but I know you. Give it some time and you'll do something that will land you in jail. Who was she seeing? Steve, Alina, and a guy named Leonard. Oh damn, you're not going to crack skulls, are you? I laughed. I already broke Alina's knee last night. Oh Christ, are the police involved? No, I laughed again. We collided during a tackle playing indoor soccer, and he came out worse for wear. She looked at me disapprovingly. Boss, you have a lot of people depending on you. They like working for you. It's about time you grew up a little. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. We're in it, along with some compromising photos that his wife discovered when the police retrieved the car. She divorced him, took the kids, and left him with nothing but alimony payments that drained whatever joy he had left. As for Jim Leonard, the sales rep, he lost his job when his employers found out he was using company time to conduct personal affairs. Word got around, and he couldn't find another job in the industry. Last I heard, he was selling used cars in some rundown lot on the outskirts of town. My life, however, took a turn for the better. With the business expanding steadily and a solid team of employees who respected and liked me, I finally found balance. I even started hosting small community events at my stores, building a stronger bond with the customers who had supported me through thick and thin. The appreciation from the community was palpable, and it filled me with a sense of pride and purpose. Jean's words resonated with me long after our conversation. Her blunt, motherly advice became a guiding light. I stopped living to prove myself and started living to enjoy myself. I enrolled in a dance class and, to my surprise, found it exhilarating. The rhythm, the movement, it all felt liberating. I even partnered with a charming lady named Ella who shared my newfound passion for dance and life. Our chemistry on the dance floor soon blossomed into a warm, fulfilling relationship off the floor. The hiking group became another source of joy. The physical exertion, coupled with the breathtaking beauty of European landscapes, made every hike a soul-refreshing experience of the members. We explored the Swiss Alps, the rolling hills of Tuscany, and the rugged terrains of the Scottish Highlands. These adventures brought a sense of fulfillment that I hadn't known I was missing. As for Alex, she faded into the background of my life. I heard rumors of her struggles and occasional attempts to reconnect, but I had moved on. My focus was on building a future that was mine and mine alone. I channeled my energy into making my stores the best they could be, and in doing so, I found a new kind of success, one that wasn't just measured in profits, but in the quality of life it afforded me. Looking back, it's clear that the betrayal I endured was a blessing in disguise. It forced me to reassess my life and priorities, leading to a journey of self-discovery and personal growth. I learned to let go of the need for revenge, to embrace the joys of everyday life, and to appreciate the simple pleasures that come with genuine connections and honest work. In the end, it wasn't about getting even, it was about getting better. And I did. Life goes on, and sometimes it takes a twist of fate to lead us to where we truly belong. We're stolen. It is said that a lot of money was also stolen from him, but he'd not report it to the police. Between his slow recovery and the loss of the laptop, he had to put a couple of stores up for sale. I thought it was only fair to help him out a little, since I was partly responsible for the injury, so I bought his 2 best locations. He was getting by on what he had left until the police recovered the laptop and some incriminating documents. Now I buy everything from him to help him pay the IRS and keep his remaining stores afloat. Jim Leonard, on the other hand, had been supplying many stores with miscellaneous items like sewing kits and small rolls of duct tape. Not mine, though. Somehow, word got out that he was having an affair with Alex. Apparently, she wasn't the only wife he was sleeping with, and someone else found out. He got beaten up pretty badly, but the police had too many suspects. They never managed to arrest anyone. Karma, as they say, can be a real bitch, and for the record, it wasn't me. I was busy expressing a vertical desire for a horizontal wish that night, followed by fulfilling that wish. Mind you, Jean didn't seem surprised when she heard the news. Maybe I've grown up a little since then, but a part of me couldn't help but feel a bit of satisfaction at how things turned out for them. Life has a funny way of balancing things out. In the end, I decided to focus on what I had built and the future that lay ahead. My business thrived, I expanded my social circle, and I found new hobbies that brought me joy. I still play rugby, but more for fitness and fun than for proving anything. I've learned to dance, joined a hiking group, and spent my summers exploring Europe, meeting incredible people along the way. The sense of betrayal that once consumed me has faded, replaced by a sense of fulfillment and contentment. My stores continue to prosper. My employees are like family, and the community appreciates the effort I put into making their lives a little better. I've even started hosting small events at the stores, bringing people together and fostering a sense of camaraderie. As for relationships, I've found someone who appreciates me for who I am, without the need for pretense or games. Ella, my dance partner, has become a significant part of my life. We share a passion for dance and a mutual respect that forms the foundation of our relationship. Our connection is genuine, built on trust and shared experiences. Reflecting on the past, I realize that the darkest times often lead to the brightest futures. The betrayal that once shattered my world set me on a path of self-discovery and personal growth. I've learned to value the simple pleasures in life, to cherish the connections I have, and to look forward to each new day with optimism. In the end, it wasn't about getting even, it was about finding peace and happiness within myself. And I did. Life goes on, and with each new chapter, I embrace the opportunities and challenges that come my way. After all, the journey is just as important as the destination, and mine is far from over. We're stolen. It is said that a lot of money was also stolen from him, but he did not report it to the police. Between his slow recovery and the loss of the laptop, he had to put a couple of stores up for sale. I thought it was only fair to help him out a little, since I was partly responsible for the injury, so I bought his two best locations. He was getting by on what he had left until the police recovered the laptop and some incriminating documents. Now, I buy everything from him to help him pay the IRS and keep his remaining stores afloat. Jim Leonard, on the other hand, had been supplying many stores with miscellaneous items like sewing kits and small rolls of duct tape. Not mine, though. Somehow, word got out that he was having an affair with Alex. Apparently, she wasn't the only wife he was sleeping with, and someone else found out. He got beaten up pretty badly, but the police had too many suspects. They never managed to arrest anyone. Karma, as they say, can be a real bitch. And for the record, it wasn't me. I was busy expressing a vertical desire for a horizontal wish that night, followed by fulfilling that wish. The camaraderie within the group was wonderful, and I formed close friendships with Man. Mind you, Jean didn't seem surprised when she heard the news. Maybe I've grown up a little since then, but a part of me couldn't help but feel a bit of satisfaction at how things turned out for them. Life has a funny way of balancing things out. In the end, I decided to focus on what I had built and the future that lay ahead. My business thrived, I expanded my social circle, and I found new hobbies that brought me joy. I still play rugby, but more for fitness and fun than for proving anything. I've learned to dance, joined a hiking group, and spent my summers exploring Europe, meeting incredible people along the way. The sense of betrayal that once consumed me has faded, replaced by a sense of fulfillment and contentment. My stores continue to prosper, my employees are like family, and the community appreciates the effort I put into making their lives a little better. I've even started hosting small events at the stores, bringing people together and fostering a sense of camaraderie. As for relationships, I've found someone who appreciates me for who I am, without the need for pretense or games. Ella, my dance partner, has become a significant part of my life. We share a passion for dance and a mutual respect that forms the foundation of our relationship. Our connection is genuine, built on trust and shared experiences. Reflecting on the past, I realize that the darkest times often lead to the brightest futures. The betrayal that once shattered my world set me on a path of self-discovery and personal growth. I've learned to value the simple pleasures in life, to cherish the connections I have, and to look forward to each new day with optimism. In the end, it wasn't about getting even. It was about finding peace and happiness within myself. And I did. Life goes on, and with each new chapter, I embrace the opportunities and challenges that come my way. After all, the journey is just as important as the destination, and mine is far from over.